so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now the data is in and Facebook is fixing to start massive layoffs, which is going to set in motion a domino effect for other tech companies to start their own rounds of layoffs. Now, this is compoundingly bad for tech-heavy housing markets because not only will these people most likely have to move back home and most likely work-at-home jobs are going to be crippled, not only that, but in these same areas, investors flooded those markets and started picking up crazy amount of stake in tech-heavy job housing markets. So what in turn is going to happen is as these people move away and as rent continues to decrease, many of these investors will have no choice but to fire sell some of their properties in order to stay alive and prevent BK. And what we're going to do today, you guys, is we're really going to jump into looking at what's going on with Facebook. And then we're going to lock into a couple metro areas, which are Phoenix and Austin. And we're going to take a look at migration. We're going to take a look at investor demand, values, and rents. And I'm going to show you guys why tech-heavy metro areas are going to be the first to come crumbling down. And it all starts with Facebook. But you guys, do me a favor before I continue. Remember, I'm not your financial advisor, even if I want to be, even though my bio is as a realtor, loan officer, and instructor in all things real estate in the great state of Texas. But I'm also a current renter. I'm renting right now. I'm throwing my money away in rent, looking for my primary residence. I made a horrible mistake in 2008, which led to a foreclosure. So, you guys, I don't want that to happen to you. In fact, this time around, I am going to be a winner, and I'm going to take everyone that is watching these videos along that journey with me because I want you to win too. So please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget, leave a comment below so I know how you guys are doing. We have a wonderful community here at Real Estate Mindset. I absolutely thrive seeing you guys help one another. But regardless, you guys, take a look at what Facebook is fixing to do right now. Here's what Facebook is doing, and this is from Business Insider. So Facebook, y'all, is suffering so badly right now. They are fixing to lay off 15%. Think about this. The great Facebook, or Meta, whatever you prefer, is about to lay off 15% of its workforce, or rather 12,000 of its employees. So my question is how many of those employees are actually working from home, and how many of those employees move to a different area because they could work from home? So obviously, you guys, 12,000 families, 12,000 people is a lot, and enough to impact severely even just one local housing market. But that's not all. Let's dig into it a little more. Several employees told Insider that as much as 15% of the workforce could be cut within the next few months. That means that some 12,000 employees could be out of jobs soon. And these are big paying jobs, you guys. These are not minimum wage jobs. It might look like they are moving on, but the reality is they are being forced out. Facebook employees are bracing for layoffs for months since the social networking giant announced a hiring freeze. And again, you guys, it's generally going to start at the top and come trickling down. So the big giant Facebook is now gutting their workforce. Let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen to other companies? Don't you think that they're going to follow suit from the great Facebook to see how they're going to survive through a recession? A domino effect is right around the corner, and mass layoffs, in my opinion, are not only going to start in the real estate industry, but are also going to start flourishing in the tech industry. But just to give you guys an idea of how bad Facebook is doing, let's take a look at their stock, and I'm going to take a look at a couple other tech companies as well, because the thing is, guys, it's across the board. Almost every tech company right now is being severely impacted by the Federal Reserve doing quantitative tightening. And also, they only really flourished so greatly over the last 2 years because of super low interest rates. It was all artificial stimulation. But regardless, look at their stock. So here's Facebook stock. This is the year-to-date view right here, guys. And now here's where it peaked this year roughly. And then this was in about February. Now in February, the price per share, you guys, was $319. So Facebook price per share, $319 around February. It's now at only $133.32. So that's a difference, guys, of $185 a share, or 58%. So Facebook is down 58% YTD. But also look at Zoom. There's Zoom right now. This is also year to date. Now Zoom at the beginning of the year, which is right here, their price per share, you guys, $184. That was January 3rd. So it went from $184 all the way down to $76.47, which represents a drop of 58%. So not only did Facebook lose 58% year to date, so did Zoom. Let's look at Teladoc. Now, you guys may be wondering why Teladoc is in here. And the reason why Teladoc is in here is because I lost my butt investing in Teladoc. I really believe in the company, but my God, they've lost so much money. Now, look at what the share was at. At the beginning of the year, it was at $91, you guys. $91. Oh my God, I'm remembering how much money I'm losing. They were at $91.47. It's plummeted. It's been gutted down all the way to $25.13. So obviously, almost every single tech company right now is under a state of panic. And I'm talking about many: Apple, Oracle, Dotloop. There's so many tech companies right now that are severely suffering. And again, those metro areas that had high migration as a result of new tech jobs, those are going to be the metro areas that see the sharpest price decline. But the question now is what metro areas are heavy in tech jobs? So what I want to do now is I'm going to take you guys through a list of metro areas so that you can keep your eyes on what's going on in those housing markets and whether or not they're crashing. Now, after that, we're going to focus on Phoenix and Austin, and I'm going to show you guys migration data, investor demand data, value and rent data, so that you can see as well that those two cities specifically are crumbling right before our eyes. But let's take a look at the top 25 tech cities right now. This is going to be linked in my description. I'm just going to go through this quickly. Now, we're starting at 25, Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, you guys know that Salt Lake City is severely overvalued. It's probably because of all the tech jobs. And again, these tech jobs, you guys, they're paying a lot of money. It's not minimum wage, $89,000. 24 is Kansas City, followed by Minneapolis, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Trenton, San Diego, Madison, Baltimore, Boston. So stay strong, Boston. Things are going to change for you in Boston. I can almost guarantee that. Colorado Springs, Columbus, Durham, Boulder, Washington, D.C., Denver, Huntsville, Atlanta, San Francisco, Seattle, Charlotte, San Jose. Obviously, San Jose is already seeing year-over-year price decline. Raleigh, obviously super overpriced. Dallas at number 2. And number 1, guys, the number 1 city, Austin, Texas. But what's really interesting is number 2 was Dallas. So I'm in a situation to where not only do I have Austin in kind of my state, I also have Dallas, which is almost in as bad a shape as Austin. Not as bad a shape, but almost in as bad a shape. But you guys probably noticed one city you didn't see in there, which is Phoenix. However, I also have another article of the top growing metro areas. Take a look. And y'all, I bring this up because the other article left a few out. And this is partially why Florida's also messed up. So we have number 1 at Orlando, Miami, Detroit, Irvine, Houston. I have all of my metro areas on these lists. Houston, oh my God, San Antonio. I have Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, and Austin. I mean, if y'all want to know what's going on, just watch my videos and watch Texas, followed by Portland, Tampa, and there's Phoenix right here. So I wanted to pull this up just to show you guys that Phoenix did make a list, followed by Charlotte. Obviously, Boston's already on there, and St. Louis. So St. Louis is fixing to change as well, guys. As soon as those layoffs hit, right? We really need those layoffs to hit. They're right around the corner. And we know layoffs are going to hit because the Federal Reserve is going to intentionally increase the unemployment rate. They've said that. They have to. We have runaway inflation that needs to be stifled. So very interesting if you think about it. Now let's get fixed on Phoenix and Austin, and where I want to start is migration. So we have an understanding of just how many people flooded these areas and from what part of the US were people migrating to Phoenix and to Austin. Take a look. Starting with Phoenix. Now Phoenix is obviously right here, and the really surprising thing is you can see that people migrated to Phoenix from all over the nation. West Coast, East Coast, they migrated from all over the place, you guys, and mostly from California and the West Coast, Seattle, Bay Area. So a lot of it's coming from the West Coast, but this map should tell you when the job market is hot, people will come from all over the place. Because remember, the number one reason people move is employment. But take a look at Austin. All right, so here's Austin, and Austin looks like they had even more migration that was widespread. Literally all around the nation, people are flooding to Austin. And again, it tells us why people move, why people migrate. They migrate because of employment. So when employment's crippled, when we go into a recession, obviously those trends should reverse and reverse rapidly, because remember, also investors flooded those areas because they thought rent was going up and they thought those cities would be good for a very long time. So when the evictions start, people stop paying the rent, people that were working from home start moving back home. The market is going to come crumbling down because it was artificially created. If it was a normal market, maybe it would be okay, but it wasn't a normal market. It was artificially created from COVID and the Federal Reserve. Regardless, let me show you now the investor demand and investor shares. Now, Austin is similar, but all I could access through Redfin was Phoenix, guys. But look at this in Q2. In Q2 of 2022, 31%, y'all, think about this. 31% of the properties were purchased by investors, okay? 31%. That is insane. Now, here's the thing, you guys. Many of those investors are fixing to get absolutely wrecked, especially if they were flip investors that purchased between 3 and 6 months ago, or even recently. Those people are absolutely doomed. But not only them, a lot of the investors that purchased at the height of the bubble are going to have super low cap rates or profitability from turning properties into rentals, especially if the rental market starts to change. And here's the thing, you guys, we're already seeing the rental market actually go down instead of go up. If rents start going down, a lot of these investors won't be able to afford to keep those properties without going out of business, which will cause them to have to liquidate those properties to stay alive. But regardless, take a look at this. We're going to start with the rent chart at Phoenix. And as you can see here, it's gone down. Now, the rent peaked at $2,261. It's gone down to $2,162. So the rent right now in Phoenix has dropped 4.3%. And you guys, when these investors have super tight cap rates, 4.3% drop in rent, that could be a big deal. But look at Austin. Austin is in even worse shape than Phoenix. Austin actually peaked their rent at $2,701 right here. The rent has actually gone down, you guys, to $2,505. So that represents a 7.2% rent decline in Austin. So all of those people, again, the investors, specifically the new investors that were not properly leveraged, that drop in rent is devastating, you guys. Absolutely devastating. So the markets, you're seeing it, right? These markets that were full of migration from tech jobs also attracted a whole bunch of investors. Now, with the layoffs, not only are that work from home community going to have to go back home, are going to have to downsize, the rental market is also going to be completely devastated. And all that 31% of share the investors have, or whatever it may be, is fixing to drop substantially because it's no longer profitable for many people to invest in real estate. But Let's do one better. Let's now take a look at the actual values and prices for those two metro areas just to see if what I'm saying is happening. And I think you guys are going to be absolutely blown away. Let's look. All right, so we're starting with Arizona, okay? And I want to point out real quick that Arizona peaked at 486,000, which was right here. It's now gone down from peak to $450,000, which represents a peak to trough of 7.4%. So Phoenix prices, you guys, have gone down already 7.4%. Okay, so already 7.4%. It's not yet under this orangish line. Once it gets under that orange line, guys, then we have year over year price decline. But here's what's even crazier. Look at Austin. Y'all, I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. Austin is crashing right now. Austin is crashing right now. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The peak in Austin, you guys, 574,000. Okay, so the price peaked in Austin at 574,000. It has plunged, you guys. It has absolutely plunged all the way down to 476,000, which means, y'all, listen to me. Okay, 17%. Y'all, Austin is down right now from peak 17%. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Y'all, 17%. I need 15% to win, which means if I lived in Austin, I could buy a house right now, and by renting for the last year and a half, I can prove to you it was the better move to do. Shocking, 17%. Now, here's the craziest thing of all. A recession is still not priced into forecasting, and the recession is still not really shown in that data because the fear is still kind of maintainable. Once the recession is confirmed and the fear starts spreading, it's going to get so much worse. And also, this data is not counting the recent 7% mortgage rates. You guys, in other words, we're in much worse shape than most people imagine. So what do you do with this information? If you're like me on the sidelines wanting to buy a house, what do you do with this information? I'm going to tell you, this is what you do. You need to stay ahead. You need to stay ahead of the unaffordability. You need to stay ahead of super savvy investors. How do you do that? Stack your cash. Have exceptional credit. Make sure you're making as much money as possible so that your purchasing power is as strong as possible. And that, you guys, is what you do to become a winner, on top of staying encouraged and on top of loving your life. But other than that, you guys, a lot of wild things are right around the corner. So it's going to be really intriguing to see what happens. Now, other than that, I hope you guys got some insights and value from today's video. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck and I hope you win.